Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what we're going to be doing today I'm bringing you a little bit of a new video really, and a new concept for possibly a new series on the channel. This video is going to be all about, guys, it's all about predictions. I'm predicting the first week of results for the championship fixtures, guys. So obviously the championship does get back underway on Friday night actually, with Fulham against Newcastle, and it feels like football's been gone for absolutely ages, so I'm absolutely buzzing for the season to get going again. Literally, I can't contain my excitement. It feels like it's been ages since the championships last been going, so to get it back this weekend, I actually can't wait for it. But in this video, guys, it's not just going to be me predicting what I think the scores will be. We're also going to be seeing what FIFA 16 is going to predict for the scores as well. So we've left the AI to play the AI, and basically we'll get a simulation out of that game there. But what I'm really interested in is what you guys think the scores will be. So in the description down below, I'll leave all of the fixtures that are taking place on the opening weekend of the championship, guys. And I want you guys to make some predictions. So if you don't have time to make all the predictions for all the games, that's absolutely fine. Maybe you just want to make a couple, or you want to make a prediction for how you think your team will do. And if you guys do manage to get any of them right, I will put your comment on the screen at the start of my next video, obviously after this game week has done. And so the only rules is really you can only make one prediction per match. You can't make multiple predictions, and you have to make the prediction before the game has taken place, obviously. But apart from that, guys, let's just get straight on with my predictions. So the first one is Fulham against Newcastle. So I think this one will be a really interesting one, really, because you never really know, you know, with teams coming into a new league, as Newcastle are, obviously after they were relegated last year, they've strengthened in numerous positions this year, and honestly, I think they're going to get off to a good start this season. So I'm going to say that they're going to win 2-0 against Fulham. I think Fulham could be a bit hit and miss this season, really. FIFA 16 has predicted that Newcastle will win 1-0, so we're on a similar level with FIFA there, really. The next game is then Birmingham against Cardiff. Now this one, I think Birmingham and Cardiff will be two quite equally matched teams, really. However, I'm sort of fancying Cardiff for this one. I don't know why, but I'm going to tip Cardiff to win this one. So I'm going to say Cardiff are going to walk out with a 1-0 victory. However, FIFA predicted that this one's going to be 0-0. I could see that, in all honesty. I could definitely see this being a draw, but I'm going to say Cardiff are going to nick this one, only just. The next fixture is then Blackburn against Norwich. So this one's a really interesting one as well, because two teams who I think will be in quite contrasting seasons this season, in my opinion. I'm going to predict that Norwich are going to walk away victorious with this one. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1 Norwich. I don't think it'll be an easy game for them. Obviously, it's Owen Coyle's first game in charge of Blackburn. I think he'll make that tough for Norwich to break past them. However, FIFA has predicted that it's actually going to be 2-0 to Norwich. So we're on a similar wavelength with that, really, but I'm going to say 2-1 Norwich. The next fixture is then Derby against Brighton, and this one's a real cracker for the opening day of the season. Two big guns that are surely going to be going for promotion this season. Obviously, both of them just missed out on promotion last season, getting to the playoffs. So FIFA has actually predicted for this one that Brighton are going to walk away victorious with a 1-0 victory. For this one, I think it's going to be quite level, really. Both have got fantastic attacks going forward, so I'm going to say it's going to be a bit of a big score, this one. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-2. I'd be interested to know what you guys think of that result. The next game is then Huddersfield against Brentford. Now, if you have watched my championship predictions for what I predicted the championship table to finish like, I actually predicted Huddersfield to be a bit of a dark horse this season and to finish 10th. I've seen quite a few people that have had mixed opinions on that, but I actually think that Huddersfield will kickstart this season off very well. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Huddersfield win for the opening day of the season. I think Brentford are a very good side as well. I definitely rate them. However, Huddersfield having the home advantage, I think they'll just edge this one. FIFA 16 has predicted that this one is going to end 0-0, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in this one, really. And then the next game being Ipswich against Barnsley. I'm really not too sure with these two teams, really. When I was doing my championship predictions video, these were two teams which I really wasn't sure where to put them, in all honesty, because Ipswich, in the last probably 2 or 3 years, they've always been a team that's been in the playoffs or in and around the playoffs. This year, I'm not really so sure with Ipswich, really. I don't see where they've really strengthened the squad, if I'm being honest, and I could see them plateauing down the table a little bit from where they've been in previous years. Barnsley, on the other hand, I'm really not sure what to expect from them. FIFA 16 has actually predicted that this is going to finish 3-0 to Barnsley, which would be an absolutely massive result on the opening day of the season. However, I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1. The next game is then Nottingham Forest against Burton Albion. This one will be a definitely interesting one. Obviously, Burton Albion coming up to the league, and it'll be interesting to see how they actually adapt to a new league. Nottingham Forest as well, obviously, they've got a new manager, and they brought in quite a few new players. It'll be interesting to see how they actually settle in. I'm a bit mixed on what I think Nottingham Forest will do this season. However, for the opening day of the season, I've got a feeling that Nottingham Forest are going to win this match. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-0 to Nottingham Forest. FIFA 16 has predicted that it's going to be a 0-0. And then for Reading against Preston, obviously I'm sure a lot of you guys will be interested for this one. And actually interesting about this one, I will be doing a full match preview for the Reading versus Preston game. That video will either be uploaded tomorrow or on the Friday before the game. But in terms of my prediction right now, I'm going to say it's going to be 1-1. I've got a feeling that this could be a draw. I think it's a tough place to go to, Reading. However, I feel like we'll be set up well and adaptable enough, and I think a draw will be a reasonable result. However, FIFA has predicted it's going to be a Preston North End win, so I'd definitely take that, a 1-0 win to Preston. And then the next game is Bristol City against Wigan. Now, I actually think that this game will be a really interesting one. Bristol City and Wigan, I think, are two teams which are very capable of playing quite expansive and quite attractive football. So I think as a spectacle as a whole, this one will be quite interesting. And for that reason, I'm going to say it's going to be 1-1. I think it'll be a tightly contested game for the first day of the season. And on the opening day, on the opening start of the season, you know, I think you get a lot of draws. There's a lot of cagey affairs. However, FIFA predicts that Bristol City are going to walk away with a 1-0 win in this one. I'm going to predict a 1-1. Let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. And then the next one is Rotherham against Wolves. Now, obviously, a lot of people have tipped Rotherham this year for relegation, and it'll be interesting to see actually how Rotherham actually start out this season. And Wolves as well. Obviously, they're under new owners now, and they're under a new manager who probably hasn't had a lot of time to get his ideas across to this new Wolves side. So it'll be very interesting to see in this one actually how the game turns out. FIFA has predicted that this one will end 0-0, which in all honesty I'm going to agree with. I'm going to say it's going to be a 0-0 as well. I could definitely see that. I think there's two new managers coming into both these clubs. I could definitely see a 0-0 for this one. And then the next game is QPR against Leeds United. Yet again, another very interesting game for the opening day of the season. Obviously, Leeds United now under management of Gary Monk. They brought in a lot of new transfers this year, and it'll be interesting to see actually how they all manage to fit in. And as well, QPR as well, in a bit of a transition zone, I'd say, this season. But FIFA has actually predicted that this one's going to end 1-0 to QPR. I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be a draw as well. I'm going to say this is going to be a 1-1 draw. I could definitely see either team snatching it, but I think this will be a tightly contested game in all honesty. And then the last game being played on Sunday, guys, is Sheffield Wednesday against Aston Villa. I think this one will be fantastic for the spectacle, really. I think this is just going to be a great match to watch, in my opinion. And Sheffield Wednesday, I tipped them for promotion this season, and Aston Villa, I've tipped for the playoffs. So two teams which really are going to be looking towards the upper end of the table, in my opinion, and it'll be interesting to see actually how they combat that. FIFA has actually predicted that this one's going to end 0-0, and in all honesty, I actually agree with that. I think for all the attacking qualities that both these sides will bring, I think they're going to cancel each other out, and I actually can see a 0-0 being in this match, if I'm being honest. So there have been my predictions, guys, for the opening week of the Championship. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of them, and of course, let me know what are your predictions for the opening week of the Championship, guys. I'll be very interested to know, and I can't wait for this to kick off now, really. We're so close to it getting started. So let me know in the comments down below what are your predictions for the opening week of the Championship. I'll be very interested to know. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. So if you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like on this video. It really does help me out. Also, subscribe around here for regular Championship content. And as well, check out all the links in the description down below. Make sure you do follow me on Twitter. I always tweet before I upload a video. Therefore, you'll never miss a video ever again, guys. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.